Hi guys! So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 vegan recipes that you must know. You need to know. These recipes are so important if you're cooking for yourself. They're just going to make your life a lot easier. And they're just fundamental, basic recipes that everybody needs to know. These recipes are simple. There's a lot of variation for each thing. So you might know how to make it one way, but you can also learn how to make it in different ways as time goes. And I'm just going to link to a lot of different recipes and recipe videos down below for each different thing. So let's get started with these 5 vegan recipes that everybody needs to know. First off, we all need to know how to make a great salad. Now, when I'm talking about great salad, I'm not talking about a little measly side salad made from romaine or even worse, iceberg lettuce. I do love romaine, and iceberg lettuce, no, not so much. But salads are so much more than romaine lettuce. So the way I like to make my salads is I start with a base of greens. Usually I like to do kale because it's a hearty green, but sometimes I mix my kale with baby lettuces like baby arugula or baby Swiss chard, or I mix it with crunchy romaine lettuce or something else like that. Also, I like to add roasted vegetables. It's often sweet potato for me, sometimes beet, sometimes carrots. You could put any vegetable. As long as you like it, you can add it to your salad. From there, I like to add a grain, farro, quinoa, and to really bulk it up, I like to add a legume. Beans are great. Any type of bean works. Lentils are great. Or you could do tempeh. Oh, one of my favorite salads is actually made with maple mustard marinated tempeh. So good. I actually have a video, so I will link to that. So some sort of legume product is really going to bulk up your salad, add lots of fiber, add that protein, and keep you fuller for longer. Because salads don't just have to be a side dish. They can be the main course, of course. Yes. And as far as dressing goes, you definitely need to know how to make at least one really great dressing. It is so easy to make dressing. One of my favorite dressings is tahini dressing. All it is tahini, water, lemon. You can do a little garlic in there, some salt, shake it up in a jar, put it over your greens, massage them to perfection, which we'll talk about in a second, and that's your whole salad dressing. It's so easy. You can make a salad dressing just out of avocado and lemon or lime, or you could do something like a simple vinaigrette, which is also very easy to make, just with a mustard, a maple syrup, something sweet, of course, in there, your oil, and your vinegar or lemon or whatever other acid that you want. Shake that up and you have an easy vinaigrette that you can use on any salad, and it tastes absolutely delicious. We must really quickly talk about massaging your kale. If you're eating raw kale, you need to massage it. Kale, as most of us know, is a really tough green. And not only do you want to massage it to make it more palatable and more tender for you to enjoy, but you also want to massage it to break down the cell wall so that your body can more easily digest all the nutrients that the kale has inside of each and every leaf. Not only do I like to massage my kale, but I also like to cut it really small, really thinly into little ribbons basically of kale, because it makes it easy to massage and make it more tender and delicious, but also because, again, you're breaking down the cell walls. It just makes it easier for your body to absorb the nutrients that are in the kale. You can do the same thing with any other tough leafy green. Break it down with that nice salad dressing and it makes it so much more delicious. The next most important thing that you need to know how to make as a vegan are beans. You definitely need to know how to make beans. Not just beans, but also lentils. I'm going to put those in the same category, though cooking them is pretty different. But let's start with beans. Beans, it's the wonderful food. I love them so much. I could eat beans. No, not I could. I do eat beans every single day. And if you have any issue digesting beans, that means you're not eating enough. So just FYI, side note. So a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to cooking beans, but they're actually incredibly easy to cook. The first thing you need to make sure is you soak them overnight. It's easy to soak. I mean, just put them in a bowl, cover them with water, go to sleep. Next morning, they're ready for you to cook. Or if you don't do it overnight, do it in the morning and you can cook them in the evening. Give them at least 6 to 8 hours of soaking time. That helps them cook more quickly, and it also makes them more easily digestible and breaks down any of the nutrient inhibitors that beans naturally have. Okay, how do you cook beans? Now that I have and am in love with my Instant Pots, I cook my beans in the Instant Pot. It's a lot faster than cooking them on the stove, and I don't have to worry about are they boiling over or turning down the heat or any of that. Put them in the Instant Pot, forget about it. I typically cook my beans in the Instant Pot for about 35 minutes. It is so easy. If you end up cooking your beans on the stove, however, it tends to usually take between 45 minutes to an hour. Different beans have different cook times. If you guys have my cookbook, there is a chart in there sharing different cook times for beans, also soak times as well. So if you ever have a question about how long should I be cooking this bean for, open up the cookbook and check that out. And another way to know if your beans are done is just to taste them and see if they're nice and tender. I typically don't cook my beans solo without any seasoning. I like to saute onion and garlic first, put the beans in there, and add other seasonings as well, like oregano. Sometimes I do thyme and basil. Of course, salt and pepper as well. And you could also make a full bean dish. I'm gonna link to some of my favorite bean recipes down below, like my red beans and rice. I have a recipe for that here on YouTube, and my black eyed peas. I am from the South, so those are my two favorite bean recipes in the whole world, and I eat them as much as possible. And you'll see how easy they really are to make, and you don't have to be intimidated by beans. Little side note, lentils are a lot easier to cook. You don't have to soak them overnight. You can still make them in your Instant Pot or on the stove. It's easy both ways. And lentils are also wonderful to have as like lentil soup. You can put them in salads. You can have them in Buddha bowls. Lentils all around. We all should probably be eating also more of those. They're super high in protein, fiber, all the good stuff. I love lentils. I love them so much. Okay. So, a lot of people are wondering, what do you eat for breakfast as a vegan? I totally get it, especially if you're new to the vegan lifestyle. There are so many different things you can eat for breakfast. It's not just, how do I replace bacon and eggs? Though I do understand how a lot of people do want to replace bacon and eggs, especially though, eggs. So what I like to recommend is learning how to make a simple but delicious and nutritious tofu scramble. Tofu scramble is amazing. I used to not like tofu very much, but I think it's because I didn't know how to cook it for one, and I wasn't eating enough tofu scramble. When I make my tofu scramble, I like to saute garlic and onions and red bell pepper and cook the tofu in that. And I like to season it with nutritional yeast and salt and a little turmeric to make it a little bit more yellow and more beautiful. If you want your tofu scramble to really taste like eggs, however, then use black salt. You can find black salt on the internet because you can find everything on the internet, or you can also find it at an Indian grocery store. It has a sulfur taste, just like eggs do. Add that black salt to your tofu scramble and it will take it to the next level and really taste like eggs. Another thing I love to add to my tofu scramble are vegan breakfast sausages. Field roast makes my favorite. Oh, they're so good. And to make it even more nutritious, I like to add spinach or kale or beet greens or Swiss chard. Any type of green, add it to your tofu scramble. It's really nice to have green vegetables first thing in the morning for breakfast. Next up, Buddha bowls. I am obsessed with Buddha bowls. My friend and I used to have a company devoted to creating Buddha bowl meal plans. Buddha bowls are amazing. Now, if you're not familiar with Buddha bowls, basically what they are very balanced bowls, so a full entree. It takes after the macrobiotic principles of balanced eating. So there's a grain, a bean or lentil, so a legume, a starchy vegetable, a non-starchy vegetable, typically a green, so kale, bok choy, broccoli, Swiss chard, spinach, whatever. A healthy fat, so that could be tahini sauce, avocado, could be some sort of like coconut-based sauce, cashew cream, anything, and a fermented vegetable. Fermented veggies, oh, they're so good. They make things more delicious, but they also help you digest, and they also add healthy bacteria to your meal and to your gut. So a Buddha bowl encompasses all of these things, but they can take so many different forms. Like last night I had a Buddha bowl that was like a Mexican-y, taco-inspired sort of Buddha bowl with guacamole, rice, beans, salsa, sweet potato. Sweet potato, I put sweet potato in everything. and some greens. You can do anything you want with Buddha bowls. I'm gonna link to some Buddha bowl recipes down below. I even have a Buddha bowl meal plan that you can check out. Buddha bowls are just great because they make it easy for you to eat a balanced diet. Also, you can meal prep all your ingredients for your Buddha bowl one day of the week and just make different combinations of them throughout the week, which, come on, it makes your life so much easier. And they're delicious and filling. So Buddha bowls all the way. And lastly, you need to know how to make a real good stew. Not just a soup, because I love soup. Don't get me wrong, I love soup. But a stew I like even better. It's even more important to know how to cook because it's more filling, typically. So my favorite stews, oh, I love stews. My favorite stew probably is a tikka masala. Tempeh tikka masala is what I like to make. I make it at least once a week, and I have been for over a year now. I'm obsessed. I also have this really great recipe on my blog. It's a new recipe for chickpea butternut squash tagine. Okay, QC. So it's not really a tagine because tagines typically are cooked in the cooking vessel that is called a tagine, but it's basically a Moroccan stew, and it is so delicious. Very easy to make, very filling and balanced. That's the thing about stews. You can put all your beans or your tempeh or your tofu or whatever in there, and you still balance it with vegetables like sweet potato and beets or whatever. Having a good stew in your repertoire is essential. So all these recipes are really going to make it easier for you to cook for yourself, stay feeling nourished and healthy and happy, really maintain a healthy, balanced vegan diet, because that's what we all need. Like I said, the salad, the beans, the breakfast, the Buddha bowl, and the stew, they're all very complete meals. I'm not saying like you need to know how to make chocolate chip cookies vegan, which is, it's nice, but it's really more important that you know these 5 different dishes. If you have these 5 things, then you're gold. It's amazing. You can do anything from that point, and you can feel confident that you know how to cook for yourself. So check out all the recipes and videos that I've linked down below. It's really important that we all know how to cook for ourselves. And if you're just starting off with a vegan diet, now is the time to really have fun in the kitchen and help yourself feel more confident, because more than likely, if you can cook for yourself, you'll be able to maintain this way of eating and continue to thrive while you're vegan. So thanks for watching. If you guys have any ideas for other things that I missed that everybody needs to know how to make, share those in the comment section below. And if you want to see more like cooking basics videos, just let me know down below too, because I'm considering it, but I want to know what you guys think, of course, too. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Sweet Potato Soul, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications button so you don't miss any videos. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.